Catherine, your leader, will be joining you. Here's your leader.
Hello.
Miss Catalyst.
Fancy seeing you here.
Well, it's funny that, because I've been able to do it in your group when you weren't.
I'm not able to do it. And actually, it was speaking like a robot when you came on. And then I think it's cleared up a little bit now. I'm not sure. I don't think the signal's great today.
Okay, no problem. Well, I've got 5 bars. I'm on good Wi-Fi here, but I mean, there's a lot of miles between Thailand and where you are in Colwyn Bay, and I mean, we know without getting deleted that the algorithms are being changed all the time. And I mean, things I used to do, I've been online, as you know, for years, and I used to know exactly what I was doing and how to do it, and all of a sudden, I don't know how to do anything because the permissions have changed on my YouTube channel now, which I've had since about 2008.
Yeah.
6 years. All of a sudden, I'm not allowed to go live on it. They're changing everything. Where have you gone, Catherine? She's just deleted herself. And we're here to talk about happiness, so we're going to be happy whatever happens. Let's see if we can get Catherine back. There we go. She's coming back. I think she's just deleted herself. She's back.
Sorry.
All right. I quite like the teddy bears, actually. What's my image like with you looking at it? Is it clear? Is it good? Is it a good picture?
Yeah, it's a good picture, but the sounds in and out, it sometimes sounds like a robot and then sometimes it's clear.
Because your picture's pixelated, but it doesn't matter.
Ah, right.
Well, let's keep going because it's an experiment, and if it works well, we can post it, and if it doesn't, it's just an experiment. How are you, Catherine?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Hot. It's hot here. We're not used to hot weather.
It's always hot here, but we are rainy season at the moment, which might be affecting the transmission. So are you busy at the moment?
Yes. Yeah, last night we had a Reiki share. Actually, we had a bit of a poor turnout last night for the Reiki share, actually. I think a few people got dates wrong and times wrong and things like that. But it's okay because we're running them regularly now. So we've got a lot of people coming in and getting back into Reiki, which is fab because it's one of the groups, because we've got 9 pages on Facebook between us. And it's one of the ones that I'd actually not been able to focus on because part of that is because of my belief about wanting it to be a practical class. Yes. And I thought that the need during 2020 was definitely for the Power Hour in Catalyst and to get that broadcast every week. And for me, that takes up all of my free time that I can have away from the girls. So it was one or the other, and I chose that. So it's good now. It'll start to build up.
Anybody watching that doesn't know, because I'm going to post this once we get it right tonight, what's a Reiki share?
Well, anyone who's been Reiki trained already and gone through the course, and I mean, we do open it up to people who've done courses elsewhere as well. It's not just limited to the people that have trained under me and you. They can come and I do a tutorial element at the start and a meditation that leads you into connecting to universal energy through your body and channeling energy and firing you up, really doing some self-healing. And then we talk about what the class or agenda is going to be on, and last night's was mainly about distant healing and crystals and charging you up that way. And then we do some healing on each other, and it's for all of the people that are constantly healing other people or putting things out energy wise to everyone else. It's their opportunity to get boosted up in their own session. So it's for any therapist to be able to come and have their selves charged up. It's really good.
Well, I know we said we were going to talk about happiness, but actually happiness is healing and healing is happiness. So politics program, because there's people watching this that don't know. So let me ask you, I mean, you're not nurses, are you? So how can you do healing, Catherine?
Energy channeling from the universe. It's more.
What does that mean?
Well, our body is made up of molecules, and we are energy that vibrate in a space. And given our thoughts, which create the way that our body is today, we vibrate and become a conduit to everything, any atmosphere you've ever been in. That's why when you go to to a castle, they say that you've imprinted within the walls, and that's why people say that they can see spirits and ghosts and things like that. Well, you imprint everywhere you go and everywhere you travel. You imprint every word that you say to another human being. You leave your stamp, you leave your energy, you transfer part of you with them every single time that you meet. Well, when you put the intention to send healing energy using your vibration and channeling from something higher power, and using ancient symbols which are absolutely miraculously powerful, that work with sacred geometry, and they've been seen on temple walls, they've been seen on Egyptian tomb walls. These are hugely powerful symbols. You can team that with the fact that you can put the intention to heal, and you can send energy directly from you to someone else and feel it and actually see the benefit of it and have the miraculous effect of Reiki. And so many people now, it used to sound like a bit of a taboo subject, that everyone was like, oh, that's a bit woo-woo for me, I'm not having any of that. But there's actual evidence now, and quite a lot of medical professionals are actually going into it because it is documented and there's evidence.
Obviously I'm asking the questions to you, knowing the answers, but I'm being Jeremy Paxman. I started in 85 because of my martial arts, and with Eddie Jackson and Michael Shea, who were my main tutors. Michael Shea run Qigong International on Portland Street in Manchester, and I went and did White Dove Silat, which was a form of Qigong for self-defense. And we did techniques called Iron Shirt, which I know you and Stephen did in my karate club when I taught Iron Shirt. Building up internal energy. It doesn't matter how frail or old or inflexible or lacking in power your body is, the energy comes out of you and you feel bulletproof. Hence the idea Iron Shirt is. It's as if you've got an iron shirt, but you haven't. It's a mental and an energetic state of mind and body. So when Grandma died, your grandma, my mum, I really started to use the healing side and not the martial art side. And I didn't think, as a motor mechanic, that would ever be my thing. I thought, like you said, it's woo-woo, away with the fairies. Yeah. But the guy that taught me, actually, Ewan Hodgson from Penry and Day Drive, was a man, and he wasn't woo-woo, and he was very practical and quite scientific about it. And you can be away with the fairies with it and talk angels and crystals and angelic things, which I believe in. But if you're totally practical and scientific and left-brain male and you want evidence, like you've said, there's lots of ways of proving that it works, because I think we've talked about this before, the concept of an MRI scan, which is a magnetic resonance image, and it's you go to any standard traditional hospital and they're going to do an MRI scan. And this is the magnetism of you. And we are magnetic, aren't we? And it's that connection of magnetism, isn't it? And doctors recognise the magnetism of you because, some people are diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which is polarity, magnetism. And we live on a planet with north and south polarity, magnetism. And we're affected by polarity, magnetism. So it's a hands-on healing thing. So at the Reiki Share, are you practicing that? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that's what it's all about, sharing. And because obviously we all tune in and have our own different gifts that you learn to enhance through Reiki and plugging in an intention. So yeah, it's brilliant. And you just touched on it then about the polarity of the planet. We all know that on a full moon, people go a bit crazy, don't they? The energies, and that's because the moon dictates tide. What was that?
Lunatics,
yeah. And they say that it's the busiest night in an A&E department, a full moon, because people tend to do crazy things, and it's because the moon affects the gravitational pull on the planet, and therefore dictates the tides, our sea levels, and we are water. So we are affected by that magnetism, by that gravity.
The brain, isn't it? It's the brain is sort of like 99.9% water, and it affects the hypothalamus and the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. It stimulates the release of enzymes that can either send you over the top or very low, slow, and depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Donna.
I would imagine then that it takes a long time to learn, does it, Catherine?
No. No, it doesn't. You can learn Reiki pretty instantly once you know how to be able to connect, if you're guided towards it, and then it's just practice and enhancement of your skills and of being able to get your sensitivities through the energy, because obviously the first time you work with it, you don't know how to expect to be receiving it, so you don't know whether you're going to get tingling hot hands or whether you're going to get cold hands, or maybe you might smell something different in the air, or you might get given images and visions and sounds, might be reminded of past events. Lots of different things channel through you when you're actually intending universal life force energy. It's massive. And actually, when I started, although we'd done Iron Shirt, the rock meditation, lots of things that got me through massive parts of my life, especially fire service and events that I did where I needed mindset.
University.
Oh yeah, huge in university. Things where you needed to focus and keep your mind aware and alert on what you were doing. I didn't feel anything particularly. I was quite blocked, I suppose, when Reiki found me to be able to learn it from you. When I did the first course, I actually wasn't very sensitive to the energies, but now it's just opened up a whole new world for me.
I think twice, didn't you? I think you did it with Stephen, and then you revisited it, didn't you? Because you had a break for some reason. Was it university? I can't remember. Something happened.
And then after the accident in the fire service, that's when I decided that was the route I needed to take to get through it, really. And that's when I started breaking down these barriers to it, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I got into it in '85 through martial arts, and then there was a need for me to shift into healing for my mum. And my your granddad, was an engineer and had no understanding. He never mocked me, but he didn't understand it, and I'd always been a bit of a weird kid, like Jimi Hendrix and all sorts of things. So he just accepted it, that it was something that his son did, another weird thing. But then he did to me. I remember, when I was doing Reiki on my mum, he would be in the room, and I can feel that, Michael. I can feel that. And I was quite impressed. And then I can remember my dad telling me stories. You might remember this. I think you've actually got them in your loft. My dad telling me, he said, "You might not think I understand this, Michael, about energy and projection of power." But my dad was a reserve fireman in the Second World War, and he had copper rods for finding and divining water. When they couldn't find water hydrants, they had to find natural flows of water, which is energy. Like we just talked about the tides and the lunar thing, water. And you can find water with dowsing sticks. And my dad was good at that. And he actually was given the job. He was probably the youngest fireman, so he was uncontaminated. He wasn't blocked as a clever adult. He was a child, if you like, maybe 16, 17, 18. And he used the copper rods, and he gave me those copper rods. And I think those copper rods are in your
I've got them. No, they're not in my loft. They're in my crystal cabinet.
I'm very happy with that, because those were Grandad's, and he'd be delighted. Well, he is delighted. So, and so you see, my dad as an engineer felt it, and in a different way applied those techniques. And when I was an AA patrolman for 32 years, I found when I got involved with energy, this is how I got involved with spoon bending straws, flipping coins and stuff, that when I was working with small screws and nuts and bolts, they stick to my hands.
Yeah.
You know, like if you have like a magnetic screwdriver and you get the end of it and it picks up a screw. Well, my fingers were doing that. Not all the time, but when I was in a good mood, a high mood.
Yeah.
Because we were going to talk about this, but healing...
Happiness.
...is when you're happy, you're healed. I always say you're pleased and eased so you don't get dis-ease because you've got ease.
Yeah,
so
because
you're happy,
you can't have relaxation at the same time as stress, anxiety, worry. You can't do both at the same time. You're either one or you're the other, because if you're relaxed, you're not stressed. And if you're stressed, you're not relaxed. And it's great because your choice, and this is why a lot of people say, you know, some people can say, oh, Reiki's a load of codswallop. Well, that's fine, but how's that working for you, kind of thing? That's your best phrase, isn't it? How's that working for you? Because actually I'm happy, and it's a choice to make you either see the world in this way or you see the world in that way. There's loads of posts on Facebook, and there's a couple sitting on a bus, and they're on like a tour, and they're going around the cliff edge. And there's one person looking out of the cliff edge onto this amazing view, and there's the other person sat on the opposite side of the bus looking at the cliff face, just looking at grey. And it's a choice which direction do you decide to look in, and that dictates how happy you are, because it's your thoughts that dictate how you're feeling in your body, how you look, how your body behaviour is, how your energy is. So you can decide to tune into something that's more powerful and happy, or you can decide to not.
I mean, you'll understand this because this will happen to you, but none of my clients come to me when things are going well in their life.
No, I don't get happy clients. Because otherwise they wouldn't be with us.
Most people is in the health, in their emotions, in the physical life, in the spiritual life, in the practical life. When they're not well, when they're going through hell. I'll say that again. No. You're not well if you're going through hell. You're well when things are going well, and you know it's heavenly and happy and lovely. You know, when you're full of love, when you're on purpose. When you're down and depressed, that's where, and you're negative and you're moaning and complaining and gossiping and bad mouthing and all the things that people do. Unfortunately, they don't realise they're keeping themselves in a state of low energy. And it's not easy to stay like that, and that's why it's called dis-ease. And it is a choice. So it's like you say, you know, do you look on the bright side or do you look on the dark side? You know, always look on the bright side of life. There's always somebody worse off. There's always a silver lining. But unfortunately, and I think it's a, well, I don't know if it's a European thing, it's certainly a British thing. You know, let's talk about the weather on a rainy day. You know, people love to, you go to the pub, you go to a coffee shop, or you meet somebody in Sainsbury's or wherever you go, and you just exchange problems.
Yeah.
And how do you feel when you're talking about a problem?
Shit.
You feel shit. And you've got to shift from feeling shit by shifting from talking shit. If you don't talk about the bad stuff and you talk about the good stuff, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel better.
Yeah.
And as I say, none of my clients come to me when things are going well. They come to me when they're going through hell.
Yeah.
And there's always, surgeons will tell you there's a correlation between, certain surgeries and certain personalities. They know that men with heart attacks and strokes and stuff like that are high achievers.
Yeah.
They display class A behaviour.
Yeah.
But women are coming into that group now. Women are coming into that group where it's always been predominantly a male thing. More women are coming into that group because more women are taking those positions in industry and commerce now.
It's funny, we actually had a discussion about that in the Reiki share last night, about actually how women are significantly losing their ability to be feminine and be the nurturing side. They tend to take more of a neutral role, where you don't see women using their sexuality almost as a power to be able to get things done, they tend to try and do things the same as men. And with men, they're trying to multitask and do lots of different things in that way. And we're putting a lot of pressure on ourselves to kind of be everything, rather than it, like me in a fire service team, of a team of 5, you know your strengths and weaknesses of the team. You're not going to put me lifting the heavy ladder, are you? You're not going to put me trying to move a massive heavy car, but you might put me through the sunroof of a car to get into the casualty care. Because I'm smaller, I'm able to do it, and I'm more compassionate when I get in there. So it's about using your strengths as a team dynamic to be able to enhance the way that you are, not be neutral and everyone be the same and everybody trying to constantly do things half-heartedly. It's your whole banana and apple scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I just mentioned that with Grandad. I mean, Grandad, my dad was given the copper dowsing rods, and I said about 10 minutes ago in this talk that he was probably given that because he was an uncontaminated younger child.
Yeah.
So they didn't ask him to get the ladders out and carry buckets of water and roll out the hoses. He was a man, but he was a young man, sensitive, didn't have calluses on his fingers and hadn't been working hard and was worn out, therefore he wasn't in tune with himself. He was in tune with himself. He had an intellect. Yeah. He was a younger person, and they used that as a strength. Now, that could have been a female on the team, but it was a younger man, my dad.
Yeah.
So it's not a sexist thing. It's actually using the skills and ability. It's like, a woman is like a cat and a man's like a dog, or it could be the other way around, but different animals with different strengths. And it's, like you say, the betrayal of, women can come assertive energy, which in Reiki is called governor channel power, and it's spine line. And then men can embrace their feminine side. In fact, every time I do healing in Reiki, I do, or tarot, or anything like that. And that comes
conceptual line.
Conceptual line, yeah. So when you understand that, that's great. And you can power up your front line or power up your back line. And
it's like having 2 personas and using the best persona for that given task and job. It's like it's like what we talk about vicarious training. We almost familiarize ourselves with what the task is at hand and get your mind ready to be able to achieve it and be in the right, like, inverted U, arousal state so that you can achieve it successfully. You don't just react and respond because something's come at you and hit you in the face. You're ready and you're prepared to put on that persona to do that task so that you're in the right focused mindset. I think in this life, I've talked about it before, about stretching ourselves too thinly and trying to take on too many tasks at the same time. And it's just a mishmash and you don't really focus on anything. You just end up stressed and nothing actually gets prioritised or done because you're kind of doing too many things at the same time. And like you said, it's a choice, isn't it? It's a choice that you decide what you're going to prioritise. You become more focused on that task. You get yourself in the right arousal state for that task. You affirm what it is that you want to achieve, and then you achieve it. It's simple steps. It all becomes...
I explain it exactly like you do, but I say, like, within you as a person, you have different personalities. And what you can do through hypnosis, and we do this, I know, but this is my explanation, that you can enhance each personality that you've got to create a complete person. And you've got a female side, multitasking, sensitive and creative, and that's associated to your right brain. And then you've got male attributes, which is associated to your left brain. What you can actually do is, with hypnosis, I know we talk about energy, but what you can do with hypnosis is you can actually enhance those particular characteristics. You can bring back skills from the past. You can delete what you don't want. You can install what you do want. And it's all at your fingertips with finger anchors, isn't it? Now, the Reiki concept is similar, because what you mentioned earlier is, and anybody who's joined us at this stage of the conversation, we use Reiki symbols, don't we? Now, those Reiki symbols are like the logos of the apps. So when you use in Reiki like Sahiki, it's the emotional app. And the chakra is like the power up, and then you've got other symbols through all the systems of Reiki, the Karuna and the Seiken and whatever else you're using. And the symbols are almost like, if I went on my, I'm on my big iPad now, but if I went on my mini iPad, it's not on because I don't want to disturb this, but, when it comes on, you've got logos that you can press.
Yeah.
If I wanted music, I press the music logo, or if I wanted the gallery, the photographs, I press that logo. Now, the way I see it with the Reiki is that what you're doing through attunements and training is you're creating energetic states in your students and teaching them how to access them themselves through these symbols, and then they use them as appropriate with the people that they're working on. And it works at a distance, doesn't it, as well?
Oh, massive effect from distance.
And then with the hypnosis that you and me do, what we're also doing with that is we're installing mental files and deleting mental files and enhancing personality, removing the rubbish and installing the new, the positive and the powerful. And we're linking that to what we call key trigger words.
Yeah.
So I think the Reiki, which is healing, we know that like medication should be healthy. That's debatable and I don't want to get deleted. But medication initially was holistic, naturopathic, organic, and it was herbs and, it was earthbound medicine, wasn't it? Not chemical pharmaceutical. But you've got meditation, which is healing for the mind, and you've got medication, which is healing for the body. But Reiki is the energy system, and it's healing the energy system of the body, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think meditation...
healing the invisible, really, which is why it's, like I said, a taboo subject. I mean, when you were teaching it at home and we were listening to it as kids, it's hard to... for me, it was easy to understand it because you were teaching it all the time. It was our norm. But then if we were to go to school or I was to sit on a fire engine and talk about that, it just gets lost. Yeah. Yeah. I said lost.
Because I was a skeptic and because I don't believe bullshit or teach bullshit, I've always been evidential. It's a bit like I was in karate. I wouldn't throw somebody without...
Oh my goodness. Do you remember you jumping the mats with Borny?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
We taught it, but we could do it, and I would have it done to me. Now, with the energy, when somebody said to me, well, Uri Geller, and you go, yeah, well, that's just a trick in it. And then when Michael Shea and my masters taught me, I thought, yeah, well, okay, I can see it, but until I can do it, I don't believe it. So I worked, and now I can do it. And now I've taught you, you can do it, Stephen can do it, and you're teaching people to do it, and I'm teaching people, and it's all on YouTube, where we've got all sorts of people doing things that they never thought they could do. And when you've got this knowledge, this super skill, using your extra senses, your ESP, basically, life does become amazing, happy and healing.
Yeah. Your life is so much better. I can't imagine now my life not having this. Apart from the fact I don't think that I'd have got through quite a lot of the things that I've gone through. It's just such a different way of being, and it works.
I'm not going to say we're going to bring the conversation to a close here, but it would be a good time to do it, but we don't have to. The turning point in your life you've already mentioned was when you had your injury in the fire service, and then you redirected your life and started to go this way. So that disaster actually put you on the right path. And funnily enough, a year before your injury in 2008, I had my spine injury in 2007, and I couldn't walk for 2 years.
Yours was huge.
I did my psychology degree, and that changed the course of my life. Now, the thing is, that the happy story with this is that at the moment, a lot of people feel that they're going through a disaster. It's a world trauma, it's a societal trauma, it's a family trauma, it's a collective trauma. There might be people watching this, and you know them and I know them, we won't mention them, who have got shit going on. But there's other people who have also collectively in society, in the world, it's challenging at the moment. We don't know where we're going. So this is a world crisis disaster, if you like. But in my opinion, this gives them the opportunity to go inside. This gives them the opportunity to... And I think this is why your classes are full and why I'm busy all the time now with 3-4 clients a day and loads of stuff going.
I've got a tattoo on my leg that's a Joan of Arc quote that says, "I am not afraid, I was born to do this." Now, Joan of Arc was born to go into battle as a female warrior when it wasn't right to be a female warrior. I honestly believe that we are born into this decade to go through 2020 and this pandemic, and it's the sensitizing event and what you're going to make as a critical decision based on that. What's your path going to be, having gone through this as a sensitizing event? If you've never had a trauma or a sensitizing event in your life, wham bam, you've now got it. So the ascension to spiritual enlightenment is being offered you on a plate, and it's kind of like, wow, you've been given this amazing opportunity now to find yourself and find purpose and direction. So where you're going to go, and it's endless.
Gillian just wants to say something there. Can you read that? I can't see the whole sentence, Catherine. Can I say, with what's been going on in these present times, I was not able to have my top-up of my biomedication, and doing my self-healing has helped so much to keep my pain to a moderate level, but I do have to have my medication. Yeah, well, we've talked about the benefits of using medical sciences, which are absolutely wonderful. We don't discredit them. I need medical sciences for my injury. And if you're going through trauma and you've got things, you need to have medication. We are ambassadors for that as well. But this stops side effects. It helps you recover quicker. It gets you in a happy, positive mindset that you don't get lasting effects from things. You have better, lesser symptoms, and you live in a better world, and you can heal yourself faster, and you'll get through things and hopefully wean yourself off medication as soon as possible. I mean, I know I'm going to have surgery on this again, and I'm going to have painkillers, but I'm hoping that with my mindset and the way that I have myself in my life, that I won't be on those medications for very long this time. The volume of them either, because you rapidly absorb medications, and it processes through your body with no blockages because you're clear.
And no toxins, yeah.
And you don't put toxins. And the other thing, what it does is people use alcohol and medication sometimes for bad mood. It's an excuse. And it is an excuse. And I'm sorry for those people, but I'm going to be honest with you and say it's an excuse. But it's not their fault.
No.
It's not their fault. Because what it does is it puts you into victim. And when you're in victim, you either fight or flight. And you either defend yourself, which is argumentative, or you fight, which is argumentative. When you're relaxed and you're pleased and eased and healed, and you're living a heavenly, loving life, you can pop a pill, or have a beer or a whiskey or a glass of wine or whatever. And when you squeeze that person, happiness comes out, balance comes out, health comes out, good stories come out. If you are happy and you squeeze you, happiness comes out. But if you're a victim and somebody squeezes you, defence is going to come out or attack. And it's not your fault, because many years ago, before I understood this, I've, out of fear, argued. Out of fear, I've been defensive. I'm not a fighter, but it doesn't bring out the best side of you, fear. But with Reiki, and if you really learn it rather than just having it done to you, as a recipient you benefit, but as a practitioner, you massively change the whole of your life, and your personality shifts and your mood changes, doesn't it, Catherine? And then you find that you face things with a completely different personality. Reiki changes when you have the attunement with Catherine. It changes your vibration. So you don't vibrate anger, or if you do, it's nothing like the intensity or the velocity it was before, and it's certainly not as often.
No.
And easy to say, but we've seen lots of evidence, because we've had hundreds of students you know, all I would recommend anybody watching this who doesn't understand it is give Catherine a ring, and she'll invite you as a guest to experience it at one of the healing shares. You've got no problem with someone popping on the table, have you, Catherine, and feeling Reiki?
Oh, no, definitely.
Making their own mind up. We don't try and convince anybody. Come along and try it and feel it, and you'll feel amazing. Everybody does. I mean, I've worked alongside lots, I'm going to swear now, lots of hairy arse men, like big build rugby players, martial artists, AA men, and you worked with a load of hairy arse bloody firemen, didn't you? And I know
and gym goers, grunters, what I used to call them.
Players and kite flyers and all that. Yeah, that's our background. And we've shared Reiki with everybody, and I've never had anybody say to me, well, that was rubbish. They've all gone, wow, didn't expect that. That was amazing. That was spine-tinglingly good, you know. And then they book it, you know. Yeah. And so it's experiential. You don't have to be clever with it. Children can do it, can't they? Children can do it. Children can do it, yeah. So what are you doing for the rest of today, Catherine?
I've got Reiki course tonight, week 4 of 6. So we're introducing, doing crystal grids, distance healing, and then just flowing with energy. I can't wait. It's 2 hours, and I've got a great class of 7 people. It's wonderful. Can't wait.
I'll just plug you, and I'll plug myself as well. But at the moment, I'm not doing Reiki because I'm in Thailand. I do mainly hypnosis, life coaching, and corporate stuff. You took over the Reiki On organisation that I founded, and you're doing a wonderful job. But we're both doing distant healing, and I've got a mentoring group for all things metaphysical, as you have, haven't you, Catherine? But, you know, if you're ever thinking, watching this, that this isn't for you, we need a conversation. Give Catherine a ring, and she'll invite you to something where you can experience it. And if you want to chat with me, I'm free. But all the work that I'll be doing is online. But you can actually meet Catherine and attend a group, attend a club, and actually go and see Catherine, or she'll come and see you. And it's life-changing, because it's changed my life. Yeah,
it changed my life coming to you, so I come to you.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you do. It's great talking, Catherine. It's now, it's 1 o'clock with you. Are you okay for time?
Yeah, I'll go downstairs now. The girls are downstairs having their lunch.
Well, since we started now, just to let you know, I'm 6 hours ahead at the moment of the UK. So it's now 7 o'clock in the evening, but it's gone dark here. We've had a rainy day today. It's monsoon season, but it's just been light showers. It's been very nice, but it is warm. And it's warm in the UK at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, we've had a couple of weeks now of sunshine. It's been lovely, but it is particularly hot today.
Let me just say and remind everybody that what we've already said is that whatever's going on in your life, it's an opportunity. It might seem like a disaster. It might seem that you're going through hell, but keep going. When you're going through hell, keep going. Don't get stuck in hell. And, you know, if you want a conversation, you can chat with Kat, or you can talk to me with a cup of tea. And what I say is that, you know, talking is free. And I'm a big talker, so is Kathleen. We'd love to help you. And at the moment, you've got a fantastic opportunity with what's going on in the world to realise that the world is a playground, but it's also a classroom, and learn from what's going on at the moment. Learn that there's more to life than what you thought there was, because we're going into a whole new ball game now, aren't we, in society?
Yeah.
And you can claim your power with Reiki, with hypnosis, and it just starts with a chat, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just getting your thoughts back in check and checking into yourself makes a massive difference.
We won't go into this now, but I will say this, that, and you believe this as well, and this is where it sounds a bit woo-woo, but we're not actually teaching anybody stuff. We're reminding you, because you know this stuff, but you've just forgotten. You know, we are natural healers. You know, this is how societies are. This is how communities are. This is how we are as human beings, being human. But unfortunately, in society, particularly in the West, they don't teach you this stuff anymore.
Well, no, because if you went into the outback, you know, and went and met a tribe family, you would expect to learn some of their rituals, and you'd take it on board because you'd believe that, yes, they are living off the land and they've learnt ancient practices and rituals. I mean, I read books about the Mayan prophecies and about their rituals with the crystal skulls and things like that. And I think it's fascinating. And if I was to see somebody doing that, I would totally respect it. But I think in the Western world, we tend to think, oh, well, what do they know? You know, but I think now we've got so much access to information to be able to use these learnings and teachings to work for ourselves. And when they start working, we take the best parts out of it all, create a system that works for everybody else. That's why we're sharing it.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right what you said before, that the ancients left clues for us on cave walls, on pyramids, on the monoliths, on hieroglyphs. You know, they're all over the world, sacred geometry and symbolism. But again, for occult reasons, this is all hidden knowledge, and what we're trying to do, we brought it bang up to date, haven't we, Catherine? And we're making it applicable to people in the 21st century, you know, in a changing world.
Yeah, definitely, because you can all pick up books and read about how it worked then, but you need to be able to put the practical elements into working now so that it works in a waking state. You don't have to sit in a temple all day singing Om to get this to work. You can literally put your fingers together like this and have it pre-programmed into you to be an anchor to work well in the situation that you're going into. Instant effect.
And have some fun with it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I always say to people that are booking sessions, because that seems to be the barrier point where people think, oh, I'm not sure, and then they back out. And I always say, this is actually going to be fun because you're actually going to explore your mind. And it's so good and interesting to learn about yourself. And you'll be surprised with what's coming up. And one of my leading lines into my meditation when I'm counting people down into relaxed states is, with a healthy sense of curiosity, allow your mind to be open. And I think that's amazing because it is a bit enchanting, really. It's a bit magical in that you don't know until you get relaxed what you're going to see.
I've forgotten her name now, which I shouldn't have done, but I have. What's Tina's daughter-in-law called?
Amy.
I remember going to that house
in Rhyl.
Yeah, and Clive, Tina's husband, who's a builder, who wasn't up for any of this, and I got Amy's hand, and it was as close as this, if you remember, and everybody got round and we flipped a coin with energy, didn't we? Do you remember?
Yeah.
And going, oh my God. And I mean, you know that I can probably do it twice out of 10 times, you know. I mean, you know, I test myself. If I can do it, I do it on a good night, you know what I mean? But when I'm on fire, and you're the same, you know, spinning straws and doing your stuff and what have you. And Clive said to me, I would never have believed that. And Clive and Tina turned up to every event we put on after that. And that's how we got involved with the animal rescue stuff. And it was Clive that he started to believe in tarot cards. He was into crystals. He was
I know. Lighting candles of intention.
And once you've seen it, you want more. And once you start to explore it for yourself, you think, wow, if I can do this, what else can I do? And it's just unlimited. But you're not told you're unlimited. No. I say this in the Reiki course all the time. Work. That's what you're told. Go to work. Yeah. Far more than life. Far more than going to work and just whatever. You know, you can go to work, but if you go to work like a wizard, like a magician, like a Merlin, because that's what you are. Yeah. But you're not. I mean, even talking about it's putting a smile on my face and yours, and it's so exciting. And goosebumps, because I talk about being a wizard in your world and how your energy dictates the room and how you allow it to be, because you've already set that and you don't allow anything different. And if someone does hit you at a low vibration, you don't respond to it until it's at your level, and then you give it loads of energy. And it just goes boom. And people can tell the difference, you know, when you walk into a room and you can, what is it? You can
cut the
Atmosphere with a knife.
That's it.
Atmosphere.
Cut the atmosphere with a knife, or when you walk in and you feel like at home and you feel welcome. There's a massive difference, isn't there? And I know what I'd rather give off. So yeah, it's great. It's absolutely amazing. And I talk all the time in the Reiki class. A lot of people say, "Oh, I wish I'd done this 10 years ago. I wish I'd done this when I had my kids. I wish I'd done this when I was in this job and I was struggling." And you think, well, there's not very many places where you can go in the world where someone will big you up every single day and tell you how powerful you are and how limitless you are and how you can be even more enhanced as a human being and use all of these extrasensory perceptions to your own benefit in your own world. And people don't expect to feel that amazing from doing a course.
And it's not just knowing, you're learning doings. You can actually do it. It's not just something you know. And then
that's why we don't do the Reiki course online, actually, because I want people to do it. And that's one of the decisions I did make over 2020, that we were going to just stick to our practical courses.
A lot of people out and they go on a training course, and I won't list the academies that allow you to do it, like a £99 course to become a hypnotist, or a £99 course to become a massage therapist, when you've never massaged or hypnotised anybody in your life. Online Reiki courses where, you read this and then you can do, you've got to have what I call conscious contact. You've got to have hands-on experience, and it is experiential. And when you have that sensitivity through experience, then you're the real article. But no, I'm not for taking shortcuts. I respect you for having that integrity. I always said that. I mean, I put hundreds of students through training and only developed about 8 black belts in about 10 years. But those black belts are on, and if you can't do it, you don't get the belt. No. I wouldn't give anybody a certificate for Reiki just for turning up. They've got to actually do it. But most people who are sincere want to do it.
Yeah. Well, they've taken the time out of their day to come and do a course, haven't they? So you already know, as soon as they turn up on day one for either their session or for their course or their workshop, you know that they've got a genuine interest in becoming, because they wouldn't be there otherwise, because they've had to really reschedule a day and sort things out in their own lives to be able to allow them to attend you. So I always feel really, really grateful when people come through the door, because I know that they've really valued it.
And what's interesting there, that thing about coming through the door, when they're coming through the door as one person, when they go out the door, they're a totally different person for the rest of their life.
Yeah, forever.
You're getting cold now, so I'll let you go,
I know.
Catherine. Hey, chatting. I started this, so I'll finish it. So thanks very much. And
okay. Well, it should give you, just to let you know, it should give you the option to download it.
All right, download.
Yeah, upload or download before you post it onto the group, and therefore it saves it then in HD on your phone as a video.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Catherine. Take care.
Bye. Bye.